how's it going? And today we're just having fun and I'm trying to play with this disintegration effect. So I have character creator 4 here. I've got this model. I did a tutorial about how I got this model into Lightwave as an OBJ file. Now we're going to do it as an FBX. So you're just going to come into File, Export, FBX, Clothed Character, and you can leave it as Maya. There's a problem with the bones when they come in, but we'll just go Export, and we'll just call this Test77 and go Save. And then if I come into Lightwave, this is kind of the effect that I'm playing around with. I'm not quite done with it yet, but we'll just go ahead and clear the scene, and then we'll go to the in-out interchange. We'll go to interchange. I'll unload what I had in there, and we're looking for the Test77, and we'll go OK, and it loads in. And you can see as I come in here that the bones are off, so I have to work on getting that fixed. I'm not sure quite yet what I'm going to do to fix that, but I will resolve that issue soon. What we're going to do is we're going to just move in really close on her. As I've been playing around with this, I realized there's a couple things, but that one of the keys I see to this photorealism is what you could call the wet look. And so we don't want necessarily all of our skin to look like that, but it's just the way it kind of is. So we'll play around with these settings and feel free to experiment with them. You know, nothing's carved in stone as far as I'm concerned. You know, it's just playing around and getting the settings that work for you. The other thing is, let's see, if we come on the object here and we look, I think that's all we have is this blue. So let's go in the surface editor right now and put on double-sided, and then let's switch to principled BSDF. And now what we're going to do is go into the edit node graph, and when we bring it as FBX, excuse me, there are 3 images that come in. So we're going to go, I'm going to duplicate this. I'll just drag another one on. So I want 2 of these. There we go. Okay, there's a second one. And then we're going to search for a normal map. Okay, so I'll try to go as fast as I can on this part. We get these 3, diffuse, opacity, and normal, and I think it's the opacities that adds a kind of wet look. It just seems to represent a numerical value more than anything. But on the diffuse is great because it comes in with the UV map, and it's on the channel 0, so that's great. And all we have to do there is just hook that into color. And then it comes in with a normal map, and that's great. And so we'll go normal. What we want to do on this is set it to linear space, and then again set it to the UV map here, and then just put normal into normal. And then it leaves us with this one, which is opacity, which this is the one I've actually been playing around in. I think this just represents a numerical value. Like, so if you come over here, well, let's just do this first. So how I did this is I put color here into subsurface scattering. That seemed to help add a skin-like quality. And then for this one, I put it, if we can drag it for the luma or the alpha, I put this into, I put the luma into subsurface, and I put the luma into specular too. Those 2 channels. And we can play around with these. And I brought it way down to like 1%. And you can check the values, just make sure this is clicked up here, and if you hover over here, you can see the value that it is. And that would be the same if the alpha was set that way. So let's see if I can have all this on the screen at the same time. Whoops. So there she is. Now let's go ahead and match our perspective and go into VPR and see what it looks like. Not too bad, but you can see how shiny everything is, and we don't necessarily want that much shininess. So one of the things I'm going to do on here is I'm just going to get rid of my distant light. And then I try to get a little bit more natural lighting. On this, sometimes you can invert the Y, but as I was looking at her, I didn't see that it really changed anything. It seems like the lighting is kind of baked, but I think it's fine. You don't have to invert the Y necessarily, but we have way too much extra stuff going on here, and her hair seems pretty blocky. So one thing we can do is play with the lighting and see if that helps. So let's just go into the surface editor, not the surface editor, but go into the backdrop, and we'll add a texture this, and we'll kill the backdrop. And you can see that with the lighting it starts getting a lot better. And let's just go ahead and do this to environment light. And if we go on to rotation, pitch kind of controls the time of day, and then this kind of, we can rotate it around and get a little different shadowing on her. So let's get some shadows on her, see how she starts looking. So I think with the wet look, she starts looking a lot better. I'm just seeing if I can get some light in her eyes, because we want some glassiness in her eyes. So it's not bad, you know, it's just her hair doesn't look very, like it has a lot of fiber in it. And again, you can adjust all these values. Oh, let me put this to, that might be my problem. I think that was the problem. Okay, that should take care of that problem under her nose there. Yeah. Okay, so now she's looking pretty good. And what I was trying to do was, the other thing I was thinking might help is if we go into, on the object and our properties, we can bump up the subdivisions and see if that helps with the hair. I don't know that it would, but maybe if there was a little more geometry in there. But she's not looking bad. And again, nothing's carved in stone, so we could come into here and let me try to see both of these things at once. We could try to increase this value and see if it, because I'm really trying to get some shine in her eyes. And I was trying to get rid of some of this here. So that's what started all this whole disintegration effect. So, but I don't think she looks that bad. It's just with all the subsurface, it takes a little while for her. Now she's looking too shiny, I think. And so I'd probably go back and turn that back to 1. And I could even turn it down more, but just, you know, so she's not so darn shiny. Now, how I got the disintegration effect is I just go into the, let me turn her, let me adjust the lighting just one more time here. It's too bright for me. I'm trying to get a little less light on her, so we're not getting so much reflection. So a lot of it does have to do with where their light is and stuff like that. Okay, so let's just leave it there for now. And then the last thing is, I was just going to show you how I could do the disintegration effect. And if we come into the surface editor, we can come over here to the clip map. And this kind of surprised me, honestly, is that if I load in the normal map, and what I was trying to do was to see if I could tone down those highlighted areas where all that specularity was. So you'll see what we've done here is trying to just have this on the screen. So if we gotta go to, no, not this, hold on, reference, I don't want that, I want, there she is. Okay. Have this on linear? Yeah. Okay. So you'll see if I start dropping the, oops, I gotta if I start dropping the normal map, I start getting this kind of disintegration effect, which is pretty cool. Anyway, that's all I had for today. I'll try to maybe animate this, but I just get in here and play around with these settings, and I'd be curious to see what anybody else can come up with. So take care, have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.